All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the graduation of Firefighter Academy 25 for Doña County. My name is Nick Hempel. I have the honor and the privilege of being the fire chief for Doña County and all of our fine volunteer and paid firefighters. I'd like to acknowledge a few of the dignitaries that I recognize. So first of all, I apologize if I don't recognize you. We have Judge Cano here, who he will be doing the swearing-in ceremony. Mr. McMahon, who's the assistant county manager, is in the room. If I'm missing anybody, I apologize. Tonight we're here to honor our latest graduating class of volunteer firefighters. I always like to bring up a quote from Edward F. Crocker. He was fire chief for the city of New York in 1908. He said, "Firefighting is a hazardous occupation. It's dangerous on the face of it, tackling a burning building. The risks are plain. Consequently, when a person becomes a firefighter, their act of bravery has already been accomplished. Every one of our firefighters knowingly accept the risks that are inherent in being a firefighter. They know going into it that the chance of them being injured exists. And that's not only physical injury. A lot of firefighters end up with mental injuries and suffer through post-traumatic stress disorders, etc. So they go into this knowing that those things are a possibility, and that right there makes them brave to begin with. So I'd like to ask Firefighter Academy number 25 to come in and take their seats. Please feel free to welcome them as they come through the door. Please. Thank you and welcome to your graduation. We're going to have the presentation of colors and the playing of our. We'll have the presentation of our colors. So if you could please rise while they come in. Thank you. You can be seated. So to our graduates, when you're presented with this piece of paper, your certificates, your oath of office, you're entering the greatest and most hazardous occupation in this country. Whether you're volunteer or career, male or female, it doesn't matter. You'll all be referred to as brothers and sisters, probably already are, especially within your classmates. You'll be expected to act and carry yourself as your brother and your sister's keeper. In order to accomplish this enormous task, there are several personality traits and attributes that you need to develop and practice and display throughout your career. So here's where I'm going to stray a little bit from the normal graduation speech. I'm not going to tell you how to operate safely or ventilate a structure or attack a fire or wear your fire gear. You've already been taught these things during your academy. However, what I am going to do is introduce and explain and ask you to adopt several individual unique characteristics that you'll need in order to become a true member of the brother and sisterhood. Whether it's crawling down a dark, hot, smoky hallway at 3 o'clock in the morning, or consoling someone on the loss of a loved one, you'll need to practice and remain faithful to these qualities when you leave this building tonight. I can guarantee that probably won't be as easy as you think. Some of you will have a harder time than others and will be offered numerous reasons to stray away from the ideals by other firefighters who will never live up to your standards. Remembering what I've said here tonight and becoming a devoted practitioner and staunch supporter of these core values should lead you to a long and productive and fulfilling career. I ask that you go all in. You've probably heard that expression when it's been used in the poker context, and that's kind of the general concept. Going all in is much more than a game, though. It's to be fully committed and to a task or an endeavor, to give or be prepared to give all of one's energy and resources towards something. So the first standard you should set for yourself in the level of professionalism to which you will aspire. The word professional is no stranger to the fire service and applies to both volunteer and career ranks. Being a true professional comes from within a person. It's not the job of the fire academy to teach you how to be a professional. What they have done is give you the basic knowledge that you'll need to become a professional. In my fire service experience, I've been lucky to work with and have been groomed by several excellent firefighting professionals. Their tutoring and passage of information has allowed me to develop several simple yet basic ideals that have greatly assisted me in reaching my current level of professionalism. These values are: always treat all people the way in which you would like to be treated. Always conduct yourself in a calm and intelligent manner. Always display a composed demeanor during emergencies. And always perform to your highest level of competence. Keep to these and other common sense traits that you'll learn during your fire service career and within your lifetime. Within your lifetime will give you the foundation from which you can build a high level of individual professionalism and respect from your peers. Next, you must become passionate about your fire service career. The dictionary defines passion as having great enthusiasm, powerful feelings, desire, and lust. All these words can describe the way you should feel about and how you should embrace the fire service. This will not always be an easy task. In your career, you'll come across many of your so-called brothers and sisters who will make every attempt to take away this feeling. Don't let them pollute your world and corrupt the road you're traveling. Stay true to your passion, and you'll reap many awards throughout your career and your life. A third necessary trait is dedication. Once you've developed the passion necessary to become an important part of your department, you need to dedicate yourself to a particular course of action. Early in my career, I dedicated myself to becoming a well-trained and highly skilled firefighter who other members could rely on in the heat of battle. I attended every training opportunity available and became a true student of the fire service. I dedicated myself to a course of action that would lead me to where I am today. Early in my career, senior firefighters on the job would try to sway me from the path I had chosen. Hey, son, don't waste your time reading that crap. Those books don't mean anything. Well, all you need to know, we'll teach you. That kind of stuff was a popular quote from fellow firefighters as I was coming up. I knew who I was and I knew where I wanted to go, and all of their teasing and cajoling could not cause me to stray from the values I had cultivated. You also need to be consistent. Always keep dedicated to the job, your fellow firefighters, and the goals you set for yourself. This attitude will allow you to achieve objectives you never felt you could accomplish and create great opportunities that will follow you throughout your life. We'll continue that with our closing remarks. There's another character trait I'd like to bring up. But as we move along, I'll bring up Deputy Chief Crespin. He's going to do our invocation, and then Captain Enciso will come up and he's got some thank yous, and he'll be running a video for us. So.
Thank you, Chief Hempel. As I prepare to provide the invocation, I want you to be aware of not only what Chief Hempel spoke about, having a vision and giving your all, but being grounded as well. I recall the morning that I visited each and every one of you during your classes. And as I was speaking to you, I thought to myself, I wonder if they know. Probably not. Before I exited my vehicle, as I do with every academy, and as I do with every set of tones that go out, tones are what they use to contact us and dispatch us or send us to an emergency. I always take a moment and reflect. Lord, be with those firefighters. As I've done with every academy and every course of students that I've spoken to, Lord, ground them. Give them wisdom. Give them strength. I'm a firm believer that my faith is what has carried me through. And Chief Hempel will talk about the support system that your family is to you. And I hope that your family members and friends, your chief officers, those that are in the audience tonight, will join me as they continue to think about those calls that you will go on and your safety. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would, please join me. Gentlemen, if you would remove your hats, beanies or covers, and bow your heads. Lord God, we ask for your almighty hand to be upon the graduates of Fire Academy number 25, as well as their family and friends who are gathered before you. Bless their lives from this day forward with kindness, sincerity, and professionalism. Help them to stay true to the fire service throughout their career and to use their gifts of knowledge for those they serve and to walk into the future with safety, hedges of protection, courage, and dedication to the residents of Doña County. It is in your name above all others that we ask. Amen. If I could call Captain Enciso forward, he'd like to acknowledge individuals who provided support and or time for Fire Academy 25. Captain.
Good evening, friends and family, graduates. I'd like to take a little bit of time. I usually take a little bit of time to be thankful for being able to do what we do. Including, I've always said, the great thing about working with volunteer staff is that they want to be here and they want to do the best and they're dedicated. And so in order for that to happen, we need a lot of working components. And so I'm going to try to go around the room and make sure I capture everybody. But first, I'd like to be thankful for our directors and our administrators and our chiefs because they ensure that we're a line item budget. They ensure that we get that funding to do what we do. Everything that we do is expensive. Equipment's expensive, gear's expensive, trucks are expensive. And so having that legislative funding allows us to continue to train. We'd like to thank support, POs, those kind of things, clerical stuff, all that gets done. And we couldn't do it without that clerical support from my office, Alma, from my chiefs. So thankful for that. I'd like to thank the cadets. I thank them for being dedicated. I thank them for being there every day. I thank them for being on time and focusing and making an effort regardless of how tired they are and how fatigued they are. We still do it again, right? And then I'd like to thankful for you guys. They couldn't be there if they didn't have the support and the encouragement that the family didn't give them. So they definitely, firefighters, no matter where you're from or what walk of life are, if you're out there responding to emergency incidents, having a family support is vitally important. The next part is I'd like to thank the instructors, Rudy, Victoria, and CJ. Extremely dedicated people. They're volunteer staff. Despite them being volunteer staff, they follow the instructor code. They're there first before all the students get there, and they're there last after all the students leave. And that takes a lot of dedication and a lot of focus on their behalf. And we couldn't do what we do without them, especially with such large academy numbers. And most of all, I'd like to thank the taxpayer, and that's each and every one of you. For your tax dollars, you ensure that we have an emergency response service, and you ensure that we have the equipment and the items that we need to continue to respond to you. So thank you all. Before we switch over to our Fire Academy 25 video, I want to talk a little bit about something about dedication, opportunity, and drive, right? So I'll tell you guys about an incident that happened a couple of weeks ago. So a firefighter can spend his entire career. He can spend 3 years, he can spend 7 years, he can spend 10 years before this opportunity happens. What's vitally important to be successful during this opportunity is that you always have to keep your skills sharp. You always have to train every day. One of my rules of thumb is I tell a firefighter, if you don't remember when's the last time you wore your full gear or you don't remember when's the last time you pulled the line, it's probably been too long. And so it's a constant training of evolution and a constant process of keeping your skills sharp. What you think you're ready for is usually you're not ready for. On December 30th at 7:21 p.m. in the evening, there was a call that came into 911 center. The respondent said, "My house is on fire." The incident was a Christmas tree burning in the back bedroom. There was a significant amount of smoke in the house. A sheriff's agent arrived on scene and helped the lady excavate the building. At 7:35, engine 901 pulled on scene and called on the radio, "Smoke showing from the Charlie side." that means in fire lingo is there's a definite fire burning because I can see smoke coming out of the back of the house. Right. At 7:48, 13 minutes later, the crews on scene come up and radio say fire's under control. 13 minutes from when the truck arrived on scene to 13 minutes later, the fire was under control. There was two engines that responded from that engine. One was from Chaparral and one was from FarSouth. I'm gonna focus on two specific individuals because they're so young to the fire service. These two individuals, despite being young, they're hard trained, and they went in there, they went interior, they dressed out, we call porched up. They went in there and knocked down the fire, and they contained the fire to the point of origin. And those two individuals are in our very group this evening, so thank you, firefighter Manuel, and thank you, firefighter Brinda. And speaking with the owner, she reported to me that the firefighters on scene, all of them, all the ones that responded, were very professional. And she felt comfort after seeing that some of the firefighters were female. So you guys are making a difference, and thank you for your dedication and service. It's my honor to introduce the Honorable Joel Cano. I just want to thank him. He's always been extremely kind to Doña County Fire and Emergency Services, and he has provided an excellent service to us, and he's extremely dependable and provides the oath of office for us. Thank you, Judge Cano.
Well, good evening, everyone. Before I administer the oath of office to our firefighters over here, I always take the time because, if we only do this every 3 months and it's always a new group, it's always important to give thanks. For those of you that are more senior, you might remember me from my previous occupation. I used to be a police officer. I gave about 23 years of my life to Las Cruces Police Department, and after working for LCPD and retiring from there, I decided that's still not enough. Public service is, I think, one of the most noble things that any of us can do. Is if you love your community, if you live, work, and play in this county, you're vested. You're vested. My children are both living right here in this county. All my family, I'm married, so all my family on the other side all lives, works, and plays here in this county. And I think anytime we can do something and give a little bit back, I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's actually the right thing to do. If you can improve the area and the quality of life in which you live, just do it. Just do it. I remember when I saw your video there, it reminds me of my academy. I was in the police academy in 1981. It's been a very long time, but it was just as hard. I remember it. PT in the morning, they run you to death, they exercise you to death, and when there's nothing left, you're all gassed out. Now they want you to go to class, and they want you to have this crisp memory turned on, and you're supposed to remember everything when all you can think of is, I am so exhausted, I think I'm going to fall asleep right on my desk here. But they won't let you. And then, of course, for us in the fire service, I don't know what you guys do in the evenings, but for us in the police, we used to do defensive tactics and some firearms training. So I don't know what you guys did, but it's never like just 8 to 5. It's like 7 a.m. to like 8 p.m. And then you go home and you got to clean your uniform for the next day, polish the boots, and I know the routine, maybe some studying. But I applaud you for that. You guys are awesome. So ladies and gentlemen, I think another thing that's really important is earlier we all saluted the greatest flag in the entire world. It's right here. This is the greatest flag there is in the entire planet. The criminal justice system, that's where I work. I used to enforce the law as a police officer. Now I find myself applying the laws as a judge. And I'm going to tell you that there is no greater criminal justice system that you're going to find anywhere on the entire planet. We're so lucky to live here in the great United States of America, where we have rights, where we have protection, and where you get a fair shot. Now, I also am reminded that now that I get to apply the law, somebody had to go fight for that. Somebody had to fight so that we get to enjoy those liberties and those privileges, and that's everyone and anyone that's ever served in the armed forces. Doesn't matter what branch of the armed forces you served in. If you're in this room right now, would you please rise? If you are a veteran, I want to recognize you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your service. We applaud you. And for those that are still out there right now, as you know, we have all of our men and women in harm's way each and every day in every one of our branches of the armed services. And all we have to do is pray for them, that they come home safe, that they do their job, and that they do it to their level of training, that no one becomes a superhero, that they all come back, and that we welcome them back into our homes and give them lots and lots of love that they deserve for serving our country. And for all the firefighters, I know there's firefighters in here that are currently serving as firefighters, and some are retired. We might even have some paramedics in here, and possibly even some police officers. For anyone that's in any emergency service type of field, whether you're currently working or have worked in those fields, I applaud you too. Let's give them a hand. And now, let me go and address our group of this Academy number 25. Hey, so look guys, let me tell you, I'm kept quite busy. I work with 6 other judges. We're a total of 7. Every one of us can get slammed on any day. We can get slammed by sometimes having anywhere from 20 to 30 cases in the morning, and then they give you another 20 to 30 more in the afternoon. How we get through it is, in and of itself, is also a miracle. How we do it day in and day out is a miracle. So what I mean to say by that is I don't need any more work. When you guys become firefighters here and get your badges pinned in just a little bit, you have a lot that you owe your family, yourself, and your community. It is quite a noble profession. The chief was up here earlier and said that at the time that you get toned out, it's going to raise your blood pressure, adrenaline's going to begin dripping, and all of a sudden you know that it's your time to go and do that you are trained to do. But there is no one in this room. You're not going to find a single person that wants you to do it exceeding your training and your skills and abilities at that point. So don't be a superhero. Don't turn into a superhero and try and do something that you're not even trained to do, because you might become a victim yourself because you exceeded your training and you exceeded what we expect you to do. We just expect you to react to your level of training at the time that you answer that call. So the chief said that you don't know when you get toned out, you don't know what you're going to find when you get there. It may be something that is within your level of training and you can handle, or it's going to be something that you just merely stay there, stabilize it to the best that you can until other units arrive and give you further assistance. Are you ever going to get toned out to a call that is outside of everyone's collective resources? Yes, you are. Someday you're going to get to a fire or a call that's outside of everyone's level of training and resources. You're not going to have the answer each and every time. And you just need to learn to accept it. That's how it's going to be. You can't save the world. You can't save everybody. And then again, there are some that don't want to be saved. They just don't. Now, the chief also said that you are brave, and that you are. You're already brave just by going through the training that you went through. But accept that you could get injured. Accept it. He said it earlier. You don't know. You're about to make a contract with Doña in a county that you're willing to know that the call that you go to next could be a call that could injure you to some measure. And then I hope that you're accepting that it might be your last call, that one of you might not make it, that one of you could actually lose your life in the service of others. So accept that, because that is a reality. It happened to me as a police officer. You should see how many times everything flashed right before my eyes. I thought, this is it. I'm not going home after shift today. You will be put in that position. I pray that every single one of you will go home at the end of shift, and you have to work for it. It doesn't happen automatically. You have to conscientiously work for it. Stay safe. Keep the others safe around you. Don't take any chances that you don't need to take. You're going to try your hardest to save everyone that you go and get called out to assist, but you can't save them all. You have to save yourself first, because if you're not around to help, then you're just going to add more to the burden that the others are going to have. Now they got to rescue you. Now they have to save you. So don't do that, guys. Don't do that. And I know that you have been told this before, that in the fire service, you are a representative of your individual agencies and departments, but you're also a representative of the entire emergency services branch for this county. And you have developed a sisterhood and a brotherhood with all firefighters in the entire planet. It's a worldwide service. There's firefighters everywhere on the entire planet. You are now their sister and you are now their brother. So look, do the very best that you can to always represent the department in the most positive light possible. Just look at me. As a judge, I am a judge 24/7, every single day of the year. If I act like a crazy fool somewhere, and because everyone has a smartphone with a video camera on it, could you imagine that someone videotapes me acting like an absolute silly man in a public setting? How does that represent the entire judiciary? I don't have the license, I don't have the privilege to take everybody else down, and you don't either. In the fire service, be professional. Always know that you're representing the entire fire service. Don't be that person that's going to get reviewed for your conduct, all right? So, ladies and gentlemen, the way we're going to do this tonight is I'm going to administer their oath of office. And after I swear them in and they take the oath, in looking at the roster, it looks like you guys, the family, you're going to get an opportunity to pin them. You're going to get to pin their badge on their uniforms. And then after that, we'll proceed further down the agenda. But at some point, they're going to sign 2 different documents with me. They'll be signing 2 different documents. And that's going to be the opportunity in which you can take pictures of your family member that's sitting over here. And there's one more thing I want to say. I noticed a lot of kids in the room. Kids, I don't know what you're going to aspire to be. For all the young ones in the room right now that are probably sleepy, and some of you that didn't get dinner yet are probably hungry, and you want me to hurry up and be quiet so you can go eat with your family. I understand. I can read your little bodies. Hey, kids. Some of you want to be police officers, some of you want to be doctors, some of you want to be veterinarians, some of you want to be firefighters. One of you decide, please, to be a judge, because I can't do this forever. One of you guys will have to take my job one of these days, okay? So just work on that too. So we ready with the oath of office? And if so, is it up here, or are you going to provide me? Oh, it's right here. Okay. So, Academy number 25. Why don't you all please rise and raise your right hands? And Academy, as I'm going to say the word I, and the moment that I say the word I want you to state your individual names. Yes, you're going to do it collectively. We're just going to hear like a roar. But yeah, I want you to please state your name individually, and then, of course, follow me until we get to the end. I. And your names are? Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and that of the state of New Mexico. I will obey the laws and ordinances of Doña County. Familiarize myself with and be obedient to the rules and regulations and orders of Doña County Department of Fire and Emergency Services. I will faithfully serve the public in the discharge of my duties as a firefighter to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God. Firefighters, congratulations to you. And you may have a seat. You may have a seat. All right, so I'm going to turn it back over to our chiefs over here, and then we'll go through badge pinning, and then later we'll go and sign some documents, and then that's when you can take some photos. Thank you.
Once again, thank you to the Honorable Judge Joel Cano for the wonderful service that he provides and the continued support that he has of the Doña County Fire and Emergency Services. Ladies and gentlemen, it's important that you understand in moving forward with tradition, we are going to conduct a badge pinning ceremony. Tradition has been a strong part of American fire service since the time of Benjamin Franklin, but the roots of our service go back hundreds of years before then. The badge signifies an individual who has dedicated themselves to serving others. Academy 25, it's not a get out of jail free kind of badge. It's a badge that symbolizes your honor, your courage, and your dedication to serve the very residents of Doña County and surrounding areas. Use it for that purpose. Use it as an acknowledgement that you have the training and the willingness to serve others. Badges have been used in a number of facets. Use it to be recognized as a firefighter. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to ask that Co-Academy instructor Rudy Buenostro come forward. He's going to provide the names. As he calls out your name, you'll stand behind me, behind the podium. Your families will then be called up so that they can conduct the badge pinning. Firefighter Buenostro.
All right. How's everybody doing tonight? See a lot of proud people around there. Thank you guys. Couldn't have done this without you guys. Academy 25. On your feet. We're going to do this simple. Everybody ready? Okay. Right face. First line down. Now, if I can please have the representative that is going to pin their firefighter, please go ahead and line up here to the left. Thank you very much. You guys can go ahead and pin your firefighter. Once again, on behalf of all of us, thank you very much for letting us borrow your very special people and helping us to convert them to firefighters so that way they can better serve their community. Once again, we thank you all. Please take your seats. Academy 25, left, face, forward, march. Right face. I'm gonna leave you standing now. We continue on with the ceremony, bringing up another co-instructor with us who has been extremely vital in motivating a lot of our female firefighters. And she is an intricate part that plays a big role in instructing as well as doing her own duties at her own station as well. Please help me welcome Victoria Buenrostro.
Thank you, guys. And as you're standing, we're going to go ahead and give out their certificates. This is that lovely part where you can take your photos, and we'll be signing the oath of office. Very special academies lately have had surrounding areas. So first off, we're going to start with our FarSouth people, which is part of Otero County. We appreciate and love that they are able to come and join us and train with us, as well as a lot of them do dual stations with our Chaparral. So we really, really appreciate that. First off will be Brinda Salais.
First of all, congratulations. Job well done. So, you'll print, give me your first and then, the chief wants to shake your hand too. Job well done.
Next, we have Manuel Salais.
How are you, sir? Job well done, too. Congratulations. Print your first and last name, there, please. Sign your signature there. Go over here and give another handshake over there.
Jehieli Mendoza.
I've never seen that name. I've seen a lot of names. Hey, please print your first and last name and sign there. If I can still count correctly, is there 8 firefighters that are women and 7 are men? Is that how it is?
Yes.
Gee, what does that say about the women? And the chief would like to shake your hand as well.
Alex Hernandez.
Really? My goodness. Did you guys know that? There's 3 or 4 Alexes? First and last name. No wonder 2 guys took off at the same time. Popular name? Does that measure how nervous you are? Good job.
So next, all the way from Columbus. So it's, if you guys don't know, really close to Palomas, that away. And we have Perla Nuñez-Morales.
Congratulations for this, for your graduation, and do you get another certificate for traveling the furthest? All right, so print your first and last name there and then sign it, please. So what is it, a 2-hour drive each way? No. Hour and a half? Wow. Well, we appreciate your service. And I'm sure they need you dearly down there. Yeah, go ahead and go see the chief there.
Thank you for joining me.
Congratulations.
Next up, we're going to have our Luna County people, and this was Sunshine Fire. First, we have Jessica.
Hi there. Congratulations. Job well done. Print your first and last name. And then for the very first one, you have a team up first. I need you to come back later and we'll sign it. We'll sign it. Good job. Good job.
Danielle Wilkerson.
You'll print your first and last name. Please. Thank you so much.
Lakota Cruz.
Another different first name. That's a different one there. All right, sir. First and last name there and then signature there. Print it out.
Just going on TMZ.
Now from our very own Chaparral, we have Marcos Nevarez.
Congratulations, great. Print your first and last name.
Congratulations. Thank you.
So much. Congratulations.
La Mesa Fire, Alex Jimenez.
Please print your first and last name. So did all of you give each other a nickname?
I see someone's laughing
I think the
there.
answer is yes.
He had the worst one.
No, he did.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Anthony Fire, Edna Rosales.
What's your first and last name?
Anthony Fire, Andres Dorado.
So you'll print your first and last name.
Welcome. Congratulations. Thank you for joining the fire service. You know those people.
Thank you very much.
Anthony Fire, Amber Buriaga.
Standard signature.
Just remember, we got room for all of you. One more.
And to conclude this, Anthony Fire, Sheena Troxel.
Did you make you wait till last? And then all done for you by then?
I just thought she didn't come to Nebraska.
One more.
I'm going to ask for one more favor before I go there and have a seat. That some of you most likely pray for everybody that is in emergency services. Some of you, I'm certain, pray that all policemen go home safe at the end of shift. All firefighters, everyone serving our country in any one of our armed services goes home safe, returns back home from tour of duty to our loving arms again. I'll ask that you add 2 more people to your list of those that you pray for. My own son, Jeremy Cano, he's a firefighter for Cruz's Fire. And my son-in-law, Mike Medina, also a firefighter for Cruz's Fire. So keep them in your prayers. Hopefully they'll come home safe every day after shift. Thank you so much.
Please be seated. All right, it's up to me to wrap this up and get you guys to the cake. First, I would be remiss in my duties, not only my duties, but my feelings, if I didn't thank the families. You put up with a lot from your firefighters, going through the academy, coming home, dragging pretty much every weekend for 2 months straight. But we thank you for sharing them with us. We're here to give them good quality training, build character with them, and return them to you in the same great condition that you send them over to us. So again, thank you for sharing your firefighter with us. The last character trait that I wanted to discuss was pride. Having respect for your own dignity and worth, achievements that you've earned, or a feeling of satisfaction about a quick knockdown at a house fire are all definitions of this attribute. It's important that you develop and maintain pride in yourself, in your fire department, and in your community, and in the manner in which you carry yourself. You and you alone will set the tone for your future. Having pride in your work and your daily activities will improve your attitude at work, your work ethic in the firehouse, as well as in your personal life. I remember how proud I was when I graduated my fire academy. They made me feed the horses. Nobody could take away the happiness I felt. I was ready, willing, and able to take on any challenge that would come my way. I hope all of you feel that way tonight. Be proud of your accomplishments to this point and set a path for the rest of your career. Be professional in your job, passionate about your career. dedicated to learning, and prideful in your accomplishments. Remember, whatever goals you seek to achieve are there for the taking. Start reaching for them when you leave this ceremony tonight. So I'll leave you with those words, and we'll bring Chief Crispin up. He's going to perform the benediction, and then we've got refreshments outside in the, not outside, but out in the lobby. So we won't make you eat outside. It's a little chilly tonight. Chief?
Thank you, Chief Hempel, for those words of wisdom. And as I look out into the audience at my peers, station chiefs, and all the other officers that I've been here a number of years with, I'm going to need you to kind of have my back as I say what I'm going to say. Chief Hempel mentioned that when he graduated his academy, that they sent him to feed the horses that drew the carriages to fight fire. Well, he went there, so what he didn't disclose was Benjamin Franklin was the one that gave him his badge, but I'm just kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, all joking aside, we love our fire chief and what he's done for us in the organization, and we fully support him, and we're proud to have him on our side. And as I look to Academy 25, whether you represent Doña County Fire and Emergency Services or a neighboring district, just know that Chief Hempel and I, Fire Administration, our door is always open. If you have new ideas, or if you just want to talk, as I mentioned when I came to visit you during your academy, we are a progressive organization from the fire chief down. We take serious dedicating ourselves to giving you the tools and the trades that you need to support your communities near and far. So once again, that door and that extension of fire administration is being put out there for you. So congratulations and thank you. As we prepare to go into prayer, in the back of my mind, I'm going to be thinking, well, I have a job on Monday after St. Chief Hempel received his badge from Benjamin Franklin, so pray for me. But all joking aside, ladies and gentlemen, please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, creator and author of mankind, giver of spiritual grace and divine providence, send down your blessing upon the graduating class, Academy 25, as well as their brothers and sisters in the fire and emergency services near and far. Fortify them with your heavenly protection, that they may step forward with mercy and compassion and offer their hand to those in danger and distress. Protect their families and give us all patience, judgment, and mercy to do your work and your good. In your name we pray. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude, as mentioned by Chief Hempel, there are refreshments out in the foyer. If you would like to take a picture of your firefighter, please feel free. I'm sure Judge Cano would be happy to stick around for just a minute or so, as well as Chief Hempel. So thank you. This concludes the ceremony.